I got this movie called Cat and Dog. Let's just get it. You got this dude by the name of Jack, you know what I'm saying? He called him the cat burglar. Anyway, he was escaping through tunnels and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? He pops up out the sewer. This dog starts barking at him. We're going to call him, his name is Clapper. He's basically bringing the attention to one particular police officer. His name is Steve. So Jack just made off with this ruby, and despite this crazy-ass struggle, the ruby ends up falling out of his pocket, and Clapper ends up swallowing it. He dips up with the dog, and he's trying to escape. Steve and officers end up trying to catch up with him, whatever like that. So he steals somebody's glasses and pretend to be blind at this airport. Then we got this lady by the name of Monica. She's like some type of internet sensation. But the real sensation is her cat named Diva. Cat gets pictures from all the little girls and everything like that. They talking about they're the new sensation since Beyonce and all this other mess. But they don't care about Monica, they care about Diva. So anyway, these two happen to be going to the same airport. Clapper ends up sniffing Diva, and that's how their interaction gets started. But from this point on, Monica thinks Jack is blind, you know what I'm saying? And this goes for the duration of the whole movie. Now, right off the bat between the fight scene with Steve and Jack, you could tell already the slapstick comedy is very cartoony. So anyway, they both make it onto the airplane, but their pets got to go through luggage. While they're on the airplane, Monica's getting the flight attendant so many times asking "Is my pet okay? Yeah, your pets are going to be fine. They're going to be fine." Until they're not, because all of a sudden, Clapper and Diva are in cages, but Diva keeps shaking around the cage and gets knocked off the daggone cargo boat, truck, whatever. Then the car ends up in both of the cages, and all of a sudden, they all see their pets being flying all across. Like, what the fuck? So they cause a ruckus trying to get off the plane, but then they get locked up causing a ruckus. Meanwhile, Clapper and Diva see the plane leaving, and they think that they left them out there. So Diva and Clapper are going to find a way to get to New York, which by them not even realizing they've been in New York the entire fucking time. So Clapper and Diva set out on this adventure. They're going through all types of snow. Then they get chased by birds. They're like, oh, fuck that shit. Some turkey vultures and whatnot. They ain't playing. They end up escaping through tunnels and whatnot. They end up falling down tunnels. Basically going through the sewers and all that shit. And they end up at some random ass spot. Meanwhile, Monica and Jack gotta find some way to escape to jail. He said he just needs something metal. But she's got a metal piece in her bra, and she's willing to take off all of her stuff because bottom line is she knows he can't see. He gets that pick the lock and they get up out of there. Right before Steve comes through, Clapper ends up getting the spot that he thinks is New York. But Diva's looking at it, it's just really just a gas station, but it happens to have a balloon of the Statue of Liberty there. We're like, really? They end up traveling and going to this school. Diva's plans to get a bunch of girls, you know what I'm saying, to click and like on her and stuff like that, so that way it will alert Monica of her location or whatever. Now, meanwhile, Dave and Monica driving in the van, or Jack and Monica driving in this van, and she's got a GPS tracker on her phone, you know what I'm saying, to locate where she's at. And they're basically teaming up to find their pets. They got these random girls at the school talking about, yeah, they love cats. And there's one chick named Butch is like, yeah, I like throwing cats in the washing machine. I'm like, what the fuck? What type of cruel and humane punishment shit is this? So Diva sneaks into this all-girls school. You see all these girls or whatever like that. They're like, oh, my Diva is so great. Da, da, da. And then we see the Butch chick, and we're like, oh, shit, they're at the same school. So Butch is trying to get her hands on Diva. Diva's running and going up to the daggone rooftop. Clapper was just sitting on the outside, didn't know what the fuck was going on. Then he hears Diva screaming for help. Butch gets to the rooftop and tosses Diva off the daggone roof. I'm like, what the heck? But Diva landed on her feet, and Butch is like, hey, you can't get away from me. I'm like, bitch, you just tossed her off the fucking roof. While this is going down, Steve ends up catching up with Jack and Monica. Monica accidentally hit Steve in the face with the door. Jack did some slick shit, handled the other cop, and got right back in the seat. Without her noticing, I might add. How you do that? That's right, he's still playing it up like he's blind. After all that, they back on a mission. Jack and Monica end up making it to the school. We found out it's an all-girls school. They get in there, some nuns try to stop them. Jack tells the nuns, like, oh, just trying to find my pets. He hits him with some bullshit, says, it's a miracle, I can see again. Wait, it's starting to fade. He was doing that basically so they got access to the school to look for their pets. Now, you're thinking to yourself, Monica should have caught on to this shit, right? He started explaining her facial features when he was supposed to be able to see again. But because she was looking for Diva, she went along with it. Now, the thing is, both of them ran into Butch, right? Now, Butch said she had some information, but I'm gonna need you to give her that ring. And Monica's like, damn, this is the last thing my mom gave me. So she ended up giving the ring. She said it was on the back of a truck. Then he asked what direction we went. He was like, I'm gonna need something from you too. I'm gonna need your underwear. I was like, what the fuck? Why would you want his underwear? What is wrong with this chick Butch? Anyway, they on the move. But the crazy thing about this shit is, Butch ended up having Clapper and Diva in a fucking trash can. Now I'm thinking to myself, how the heck did she catch both of them niggas and put them in a damn trash can? She takes Diva out of the trash can as they're getting on the school bus. I guess they're gonna go to a field trip or some shit. Well, actually, we're going home. Clapper ends up shaking the trash can, getting out of there, and he clings onto the back of the school bus. While the school bus is on the highway, it ends up passing Steve, and Steve is like, what the fuck? Steve saw Clapper on the back of the bus. He was like, oh yeah, I'm about to catch that bitch. Steve stops the school bus. He's about to clap Clapper. Steve ends up getting off the bus somehow, and they both end up escaping. Jack and Monica are balling, trying to find him, you know what I'm saying? Then another cop starts following them and shit. Then all of a sudden, they end up getting away from the cop. But her phone ends up falling out the car. We're like, oh shit, now the phone's not working. So we're like, damn, that's the only way to the GPS. They end up going to this hotel to get off the radar and to possibly get the phone working again. Meanwhile, Clapper and Diva are trying to escape this cop. They end up going through the woods, but they gotta get across this pond of ice. Diva ends up falling through. Clapper comes out there to save her life. And now she's eternally grateful. But then Steve is shooting at Clapper, ends up getting Diva in the arm. So now Clapper tries to get Diva to safety. He gets Diva to hide while Clapper's going to go find some food to get her strength up. Jack and Monica get this heartfelt emotional moment. Talking about they had to move into like a 1-bedroom apartment or something like that. And then she was able to get the phone working again, but all of a sudden cops knocking on the door. We're like, oh shit. They find a way to escape. They put a bunch of shit in the cop's car, the tailpipe. Then she gets out of the back of her van. When she opened the back of the van, it looks like a whole little setup. That's when he realized that 1-bedroom apartment she was talking about is the back of her van. She's living out of her car. So they get in the car and dip out. So around the same time, Clapper's trying to find some food. This little boy picks him up. He's like, yeah, I got some food for you. This little boy goes on IG, ends up hitting up Monica somehow. Says, nah, we ain't find the cat, but we end up finding the dog. So at this point, all she cares about is finding her cat. She's like, we're about to turn around the other way and find the cat. He's like, man, we gotta get my dog. It's important, man. He's like, we can find the cat. I mean, if you know where the dog is, you know what I'm saying? We can find the cat. But she ain't trying to hear it. She's like, look, man, we gonna turn around and get out. And he's like, you know what? Just let me out. She said, just at least point me in the direction of the highway. You know what I'm saying? Because in their mind, she's still thinking that he's blind. So she gets out the car. She go around the other side. When she turns back around, she sees Jack in the driver's seat and pulls off. I'm like, oh, shit. So now she got to catch a hack to get back to New York City. Jack goes, gets his dog, gets the diamond and all that. Then we got the situation where Diva couldn't wait around no more. She was looking around. She got lost. All of a sudden, see some more turkey vultures. And then she licked the pole or whatever like that. Her tongue gets stuck on a fucking pole. And then right before the turkey vulture about to snatch him up, all of a sudden Steve comes out of nowhere and snatches the turkey vulture. And takes that cat with him and ride off. Before he gets in the car, we held his room like, Steve opens the back of his trunk. And there's a guy tied up in there. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot about him. I'm like, wait, what? So we find out Steve is actually the criminal. He was the one taking the jewel. But Jack got the drop on him and he got the jewel from him. This officer came in, knocked out the officer, and took his clothes. So that's the guy in the trunk. So Steve has been impersonating the cop the entire time. Why didn't he look up his badge number to figure out if he's a real cop? Who the hell knows? This movie is slapstick comedy. You gotta take it for what it is. So basically, Steve ends up calling Jack, tells him, I got the cat, bring the ruby. You know what I'm saying? Meet him at a certain spot. Jack ends up calling Monica and says, look, I'm sorry, I'll explain all this when it's all over. Of course, she's easily irritated. I mean, the dude just stole his fucking van and lied about it being blind. But she got to ride back to New York. Now, Steve's in New York. The cat ends up getting out the car somehow because Diva saw Monica walking around, trying to catch up to her. Jack gets out the car to meet Steve. Clapper had to poop. He got the diamond out of Clapper. Obviously cleaned it off and whatnot. Clapper somehow got out of the car. Apparently, these niggas don't believe in closing doors. They meet up for the exchange. Then he looks out the window, see police around the daggone car. And then Steve tried to choke out Jack. Jack gets him off and he gets away. Diva ends up going to this carnival. She jumps up on a tree so she can look out to see where Monica is. All of a sudden, she falls off the damn tree. But she actually landed on her feet this time. And before Diva almost got hit by a pedestrian, Jack saves Diva and brings her back to Monica. And just like that, she forgives him. Then all of a sudden, Steve comes out of nowhere and starts whipping on Jack. They get to beefing on the merry-go-round. Then Clapper comes out of nowhere. He goes under the bottom part, you know what I'm saying, to mess with the mechanism, but he can't do it by himself. Monica and Diva get to the main controls. They try to shut this shit down. Jack ends up giving Steve the whiffling. And then the real police find Steve and arrest him. But at the cost of Clapper getting clapped, fucking horse fell on him and shit, yo. But by the power of animal tears and friendship, Clapper comes back to life. And then we get to see him on the plane with his couple is kissing, but it ain't them. Jack and Monica in the cargo spot with Clapper and Diva. And then Jack ends up giving Monica the ruby. Letting her know he was the cat burglar all along. Somehow Diva ends up stealing the ruby and accidentally swallows it. And then they're chasing her around the plane. That's the end of the movie. So I'm thinking to myself, they just can't fly regular planes right now. They've been TSI'd and shit. And where the heck were they going? They were already in New York. I was like, what the fuck? Cat and Dog on Netflix. Check it out.